Alrighty, and we are live. What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Booth Podcast. Getting everything set up and we'll be ready to go. Hope everyone's day's going well, week's going well, weekend going well. Back to normal with the episode because I didn't have anything that would delay the episode this week. Alright, let's get into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Booth Podcast. Thank you all so much for the support to this point. I very much do appreciate it. So let's start off Immaculate Grid. We've got Mariners, Twins, Mariners, first round draft pick, Mets, Blue Jays, and 40 plus career WAR. I'm not well with draft picks because I don't really pay much attention to the draft, so that I'm going to have to just look up stuff, but otherwise I'll do without having to look up. Twins, Mets, Corey Polanco would fit. Clippard would fit. Johan Santana would fit. Didn't Mike Pelfrey play for the Mets Twins a year? Yeah, 0.8. I will take that. Ignore that. Because I did not mean to hit that. Here we go. Mets, Mariners. Robinson Cano would fit here. Edwin Diaz would fit here. Jorge Polanco would also fit here. Who else could fit? Mariners, Mets. Nelson Cruz, no. Mitch Haniger, no. Oh. Taiwan Walker, 0.7%. I will take that. Twins, Blue Jays. Clippard would fit here, actually. 0.4%. I will take that. Mariners, Blue Jays. John Olerud would fit here. Who else could fit for Mariners, Blue Jays? Jamie Moyer, no. Cameron, no. David Wells, I don't believe so. Did Edelman play a year for the Mariners, or am I mixing up people? We did, 0.7%. I'll take that. Twins, 40 plus career WAR. Any chance more? No. Oliva. 2%, I will take that. Mariners, 40 plus career WAR. Olerud, any chance? 2%, I will take that. 40 plus career WAR, that's also a first round draft pick. Wasn't Griffey? 8%, I'll fine with that. Mets and Blue Jays first round draft picks. I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to look these up because I'm not well versed in draft picks. So, for baseball, because they're not, I just don't find it relevant because the chances of them actually making the major league is rare. So, oh, Jeremy Burnett's who's in MLB The Show this year. I'm liking the swing. 0.4%, I will take that. I very much liked it. Like a swing on MLB The Show. Mariners. Do Kyle Lewis. Or not. Dustin Ackley. Oh, it's also Blue Jays, not Mariners. It's stupid. Embarrassing. I am stupid sometimes. Dwight Smith Jr. Not much of a MLB career, but vaguely know him. 0.006%. I will very much take that. Total rarity score is 115. I realize I have to post the link to 2 other places, so I'm going to do that once I go over grid results. But top scores for each category. Mets, Twins at 32%, Johan Santana makes sense. Mets, Mariners, 29%, Robinson Cano makes sense. Mets, first round draft pick, 15%, Darryl Strawberry makes sense. Blue Jays, Twins at 21%, is Paul Molitor makes sense. Blue Jays, Mariners at 24% is John Olerud. And Blue Jays, first round draft pick at 16% is Roy Halladay. Twins, 40 plus career WAR and 18% is Kirby Puckett. And 40 plus career WAR at 26% is Ken Griffey Jr. And 40 plus career WAR, who's also a first round draft pick at 12% is Bryce Harper. The fact Bryce Harper's already up to that high career WAR is something in its own. I'm just going to post a link to 2 other places and then I'll continue to a few other places. And forgot to post the link to. And then we will continue. So sorry about that. I usually will post it like before I go live. So I don't have to like do it while I'm live, but I just want to make sure I get this out before I continue. So for today's daily walk-off, I'm doing the Red Sox and Royals. The theme day is Uno, Dos, Tres, Cuatro. And the player category, the categories are 2019 80 plus strikeouts, 2020 30 plus strikeouts, 2019 is batting, 2020 is pitching, 2021 top 5 games pitched, and then 2022 top 5 in stolen bases. Franchi Cordero, Philip Valdez, Christian Vasquez, Trevor Story, Josh Taylor, Xander Bogaerts, Andrew Benintendi, Brian Brazier Jr., and Darwinson Hernandez, Adam Ottavino, and Nathan Eovaldi. Duran and Eovaldi, I'm going to separate pitchers and batters first, then I'll do separate into the years. Ottavino and Benintendi swap, Hernandez and Bogaerts swap, and Story and Valdez swap. And then Benintendi and Franchi, Xander and Story. Honestly, this might be full walk-off homer. Close, just swap Eovaldi and Josh Taylor. Now fully correct. So walk-off double. So full correct answers for the Red Sox. 2019 8 plus strikeouts batting, Andrew Benintendi, Xander Bogaerts, Christian Vasquez. 2020 30 plus strikeouts pitching, Ryan Brazier, Nathan Eovaldi, Phillips Valdez. 2021 top 5 games pitched, Adam Ottavino, Darwinson Hernandez, and Josh Taylor. 2022 top 5 in stolen bases, Trevor Story, Franchi Cordero, and Jarren Duran. And then for the Kansas City Royals, Kyle Isbell, Greg Holland, Chris Bubick, Kyle Zimmer, Brady Singer, Danny Duffy, Bobby Wood Jr., Alex Gordon, Ryan O'Hearn, Jorge Soler, Josh Stallmont, and Nate Eden. So Stallmont and Witt I can change. Holland and Gordon I can change. And then Bubick and O'Hearn I can change. Gordon, Soler, and O'Hearn I think are going to be 2019. That should be 2022. And then, honestly, I'm not sure how pitchers in lineup, so let's see how it goes. And will be another walk-off double because everything except Bubick and Zimmer are correct. Flip those two now fully correct. So full correct answers for the Royals. 2019 80 plus strikeouts batting, Jorge Soler, Alex Gordon, Ryan O'Hearn. 2020 45 plus strikeouts pitching, Chris Bubick, Brady Singer, Danny Duffy. 2021 top 5 games pitched, Josh Stallmont, Greg Holland, and Kyle Zimmer. And 2022 25 in stolen bases, Kyle Isbell, Bobby Wood Jr., and Nate Eden. And then switch to Statpad game. So category today is hits. Target score is 397. Categories are 1980 to 2025 outfield for the Astros, 1980 to 2025 third base in the AL East, 1980 to 2025 first baseman for the Mets, 2020 to 2025 catcher in the AL West, and 1980 to 2025 Cleveland Guardians. Shortstop. Astros outfielder. Berkman, Springer, Hunter Pence, Tucker, Alvarez, Beltran only played half season in 4 and then 17. I doubt he had enough, and he was mostly DH anyway. Josh Reddick. Like, I feel like any of those answers I can't go wrong with, but the question is, who would have the most? I'm going to say Tucker. Nope. Derek Bell from 98. I didn't even think about that. Okay. 2025 third baseman in the NL East. Blue Jays, well, Donaldson had that MVP season. No one else had MVP seasons. So it kind of tends to make for third base in that era. Tends to make me consider, but then again, Cal Ripken Jr. Could also. Honestly, might be Ripken. Nope. Wade Boggs. I didn't even think about Wade Boggs. Oof. 1980 2025 first base Mets. Keith Hernandez is more defense, I think. Pete Olerud. Piazza may or may not count. I don't know if he for sure would have. Coco. I'm going to say Pete. Okay, then bounce back there. Olerud, oddly enough, top answer, even though didn't play much. Keith Hernandez also up there. Interesting. 95 percentile with 170. 2020 to 2025 catchers in the NL West. I have a feeling to be Cal Raleigh because he had a ridiculous year last year. Not number one, but I will take it. Top was Yainer Diaz in 2024. Really? Not what I would have thought, but okay then. And then Omar Vizquel would fit. Francisco Lindor would fit. I don't know if I think Vizquel has like the most, was more all contact, barely any power. Is there a chance that Lindor would have had more? I feel like I can't go wrong either way. Fudge, I'm going Vizquel, and that ended up being the top answer anyways. And Lindor ended up there anyways, and also Julio Franco. I forgot about Julio Franco. But then again, interesting. So I did beat the target score. I got 837. Not my best of days, not my worst of days, so I will take it. This is a new hat, by the way, I had gotten recently. So wanted to wear it today for the first time wearing it since I got it. Let's see, is there anything else? Let's see. By the way, if you are a wrestling fan, and besides for WWE, I am going to be at AEW Double or Nothing this coming Sunday at Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens. So if you're there, come say hi. I'm debating maybe doing a vlog, but like vlogging from wrestling is kind of not so simple because it's like mega copyright issues, like theme songs and stuff. And then like, I'm so invested. When I watch, I don't even think of like recording stuff for vlogs. I just kind of only video the walkouts. So if I can muster up something, maybe I put something together. Otherwise, I'll just tell you guys about it on Tuesday or whenever the next episode will be. Also, I have my college graduation, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday on May 31st. So that is crazy to think about. That's coming up. So let's dive in to the MLB Weekly Recap. So going back to May 13th, Orioles beat the Yankees 7-0. First shutout the Orioles have been involved in this season. Last MLB team to go this long without being part of one of either side to start a season was 2017 Nationals on Game 48. The only other time in Orioles history to go longer into a season without being involved in a shutout was 1996 in Game 67. Rockies beat the Pirates 10-4. Jake McCarthy's 7 unassisted double play in the first was the first since Johnny Gomes for the Red Sox on July 31st, 2013. One of those rare double plays where outfield just makes catch and then takes himself to the base or tag the runner. Rare double play. Blue Jays beat the Rays 5-3 in 10 innings. Dalton Varsho's walk-off grand slam in the 10th is the 5th time and 4th player in Blue Jays history to do so, joining July 27th and 30th, 2017, Steve Pearce, September 6th, 2008, Greg Zahn, and September 4th, 1988, George Bell. Marlins beat the Twins 9-5. Josh Bell's steal of second base is his first stolen base since September 27, 2018. The 978 games is the longest streak by a batter since 1900. Byron Buxton's 2-homer game is his 18th career multi-homer game, which is third most in Twins history, passing Roy Sievers and Tony Oliva's 18 and behind Harlan Killebrews 45 and Justin Morneau's 20. A's beat the Cardinals 6-2. Nick Kurt's go-ahead grand slam homer in the 5th marks 36 team on base streak, tying 2006 Nick Swisher for third longest such streak in A's history. Behind 1996 Mark McGwire's 48 and 1997-98 Jason Giambi's 39. I ended up getting it to 42, though the numbers of streaks is like varying on from my notes, but he's at 41 going into today's game. Dodgers beat the Giants 4-0. Shohei Ohtani's .82 ERA is the second lowest by a Dodgers pitcher in his first 7 starts for the season since 1912, behind 1981 Fernando Valenzuela's .29, as well as his 50th strikeout, making him the 6th pitcher since 1913 with under 8.85 ERA and 50-plus strikeouts the first 7 starts of the season, joining 2021 Jacob deGrom, 2009 Johan Santana, and Zach Greinke, 1981 Fernando Valenzuela, and 1914 Dutch Leonard. That is it for May 13th. For May 14th, Mets beat the Tigers 9-4. AJ Ewing solo run in the 3rd is an RBI triple in the 7th on Tuesday, making him the first player in Mets history with both first 2 hits of career in any order, with those being the first 2 hits in any order of their career. 7th in MLB history since 2006, joining Matthew Lugo, Nick Gonzalez, Sergio Alcantara, Anthony Rizzo, Starlin Castro, and Geraldo Parra. 3rd time in Mets history, they've swept a series of 3+ games despite trailing by multiple runs in each game, joining May 2012 again at Phillies and May through June 1969 against the San Francisco Giants. Nick Kurtz, streak extending. Shane Langleiter's 3-hit game is his 23rd this season in first 43 games of the season, which is second most in team's first 43 games of the season for A's since 1936, behind 1988 Larry Carney Lansford's 23. Phillies beat the Red Sox 3-1. Schwarber's 2-run homer in the 8th marks 18 homers in 44 games this season, which is tied for the second most in Phillies history, passing 2009 Raul Bonney at 17, and tied with 1980 Mike Schmidt, and behind 1923 Cy Williams 20. Marks 7 homers in 7 games, making the 9th time and 7th player to do so in Phillies history since 1900, joining 2023 Trey Turner, 2013 Dominic Brown, 2008 Chase Utley, 2006 Ryan Howard, 1976 and 79 Mike Schmidt, and 1971 Darren Johnson, and 1929 and 30 Chuck Klein. Dodgers beat the Giants 5-2. Jung-Hoo Lee's 2-run inside the park homer in the 5th marks the first inside the park home run by anyone at Dodger Stadium since May 9th, 2018. Nick Ahmed first inside the park home run by San Francisco Giants at Dodger Stadium, and first inside the park home run by San Francisco Giants against the Dodgers since September 22nd, 1981. Larry Hearn did off Fernando Valenzuela. Last New York San Francisco Giants with the inside the park home run on the road against the Dodgers was August 15th, 1954, Alvin Dark back in the Ebbets Field days in Brooklyn, along with Will Smith's leadoff homer in the first. Work's first game in Dodger Stadium would feature both homers, a leadoff homer and inside the park home run in separate at-bats. That's it for May 14th. For May 15th, Phillies beat the Pirates 10-9, 11-9 in 10 innings. Schwarber's 2-homer game is 20 homers this season for him in 45 games this season. Tying him with 1923 Cy Williams for the most homers in the first 45 games of the season in Phillies history, and passing 1980 Mike Schmidt's 18. Also tied for the 4th most in team's first 45 games of the season in MLB history, behind 2001 Barry Bonds 24, 2006 Albert Willis 22, and 1994 Ken Griffey Jr.'s 21. And tied with 2001 Luis Gonzalez, 1998 and 2000 Big Mac Mark McGwire, 1997 Ken Griffey Jr., 1956 Mickey Mantle, and 1923 Cy Williams. Also marked 9 homers in 8 games, making him the second player to do so, joining 1976 Mike Schmidt. It's also the second time he's done so, joining June 2021. The only other player in MLB history to do so 2 times is Albert Bell in 1995 and 1998. Yankees beat the Mets 5-2. Juan Soto's solo home run in the 7th is his 250th career homer, making him the 16th player to reach 250 homers before turning 28, along with 96 stolen bases for his career, makes him the 7th player to reach 250-plus homers and 95-plus stolen bases before turning 28 years old, joining Alex Rodriguez, Ken Griffey Jr., Mickey Mantle, Mike Trout, Frank Robinson, and Andrew Jones. Cubs beat the White Sox 10-5. This is this general series now. The first time since June 27th, 29th, 2008 at Wrigley Field that the Cubs and White Sox will be playing each other in a non-COVID year with each team having a winning record. In the COVID season, they had a winning record, but that was not a full season. Diamondbacks beat the Rockies 9-1. Merrill Kelly quality start makes his 7th at Coors Field, which is tied for third most for a career behind 2005 to 2006 and 2009 to 2010 Aaron Cook's 9 and 8, and tied with 2018 Kyle Freeland and German Marquez and 2009 Ubaldo Jimenez. Kelly's the only pitcher with 7+ straight as a visitor, as the streak dates back to 2022. At 37 years and 213 days old, makes him the oldest pitcher with a complete game since Adam Wainwright in 2022. The only Arizona pitcher with a complete game at an older age is Randy Johnson's 15 9-inning complete games. That also makes him the second oldest pitcher since 1946. At the time of his first career MLB complete game, younger than only May 21st, 1950, Connie Moreros, 39 years, 26 days old. He had debuted a month prior, so it was his 6th appearance and 2nd start. Also the 4th oldest pitcher since 1930, also younger than September 6, 1933, Alex Cole, 39, 161 years, 161 days old. And on October 3rd, 1937, Ted Kleinhaus, 38 years, 178 days old. That's it for May 15th. For May 16th, Phillies beat the Pirates 6-0. Christopher Sanchez complete game shot out 13 strikeouts and 0 walks, makes him the second Philly to do so since 1900, joining April 14th, 2016, Vince Velasquez. Guardians beat the Reds 7-4. Jose Ramirez's 2-game marks 1,707 career hits with Cleveland, passing Lou Boudreaux's 1706 for 6th most in Cleveland history behind Nap LaJoie's 2052, Chris Speaker's 1965, Earl Averill's 1903, Joe Sewell 1800, and Charlie Jameson's 1751. White Sox beat the Cubs 8-3. Munetaka Murakami's 2-homer game, plus Miguel Vargas' 3-run homer in the first, plus Coles Montgomery's solo homer in the 3rd. Marks the 4th game this season. All three have homered in the same game. That's the most by any team trio in their team's first 45 games of the season since 1900. MLB season record in that span is 5-9 times. Murakami's 2-homer game marks his 17 homers this season. In 45 career games, which is tied for the 3rd most in the first 45 career games of career in MLB history behind 2015-16 Gary Sanchez 19 and 2017 Rhys Hoskins 18, and tied with Yordan Alvarez, 2019 Yordan Alvarez, 2017 Bellinger, and 1930 Wally Berger, and passing 2014 Jose Abreu, 1986 Wally Joyner 16. Also, is the first time is 8th time Murakami and Montgomery have a homer in the same game this season. Which is most by a teammate duo in their first 45 games of the season. MLB history, passing 2000 Jim Edmonds and Mark McGwire. Giants beat the A's 6-4. Oh, that's just the streak extending for Nick Kurtz. First, Fane also had 39 for the A's. Overall in A's history. That's it for May 16th. For May 17th, Phillies beat the Pirates 6-0. Phillies are the 5th team since 1926 to go from 10+ games under 500 to 1 game over 500 within the span of the first 47 games of the season, joining 1951 New York San Francisco Giants, 1958 St. Louis Cardinals, 1996 Florida Marlins, and 2001 Oakland Athletics. Red Sox lost to the Braves 8-1, marks the 829 straight games for Matt Olson dating back to 2021, tying 1949 9-55. Eddie Yost for 9th longest streak in MLB history behind 1982-98 Cal Ripken Jr.'s 632. 1925-1939 Luke Garrett's 2130. 1916-1925 Eric Scott's 1307. 1975-83 Steve Garvey's 1207. 2002-2007 Miguel Teja's 1152. 1963-1970 Billy Williams 1117. 1922-1930 Joe Seals 1103. And 1957-52 to 57, Stan Musials 895. He ended up getting to 830 going into today's game, so he did pass Yost. Mets beat the Yankees 7-6 in 10 innings. Ben Reich's home run on the third is his 15th this season, with Aaron Judge's 60 homers this season, making the third Yankees duo with 15 plus homers each in their team's first 47 games of the season. Joey 1961, Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris, and 1956, Hugh Merrill, Mickey Mantles. Mets came back from down 6-3 to win, which is the largest ninth inning deficit the Mets have overcome to win a game in the Subway Series history, which dates back to 1997 when early league play started. And when Nick Kurtz got 40, also more the rest of the list in A's history in general, Jimmy Fox had 40 in 1929. He had 47 in 1932. Ping Bodie had 43 in 1917. Jimmy Fox also had 42 in 1933. And Eddie Matthews had 41 in 1949. That is it for May 17th. For May 18th, Mets beat the Nationals 16-7 in 12 innings. Is the Mets' 10th extra inning game this season in 47 games, which is third fewest in Mets history behind 1978, 39, and 1971, 41. Joey Wiemer's 2 homer, 2 hit, 2 walk, 1 hit by pitch marks 5 times reaching base safely in a game where he came off the bench, which is tied for second most in a game and player didn't start since 1900, behind May 8th, 1884, Tom Paciorek, and July 8th, 1902, Danny Murphy, 6, and tied with June 27th, 1984, Lee Lacy. May 15th, 1938, Alex Kampouris. July 30th, 1928, Ty Williams. And September 11th, 1911, Jack Quinn. Mets 10-run 12 is the third time to do so in extra innings of MLB history, joining May 15th, 1913, top 13 for the Reds, and June 17th, 1887, top 10 for the Boston Braves, and July 21st, 1886, Kansas City Royals, and is tied for the third most in extra innings in MLB history behind July 3rd, 1983. Texas Rangers top 15, 12, and June 21st, 1969, Twins 10, and July 26th, 1928, New York Yankees top 12, 11. Zach Noah's walk-off two homer in the ninth is Angels beat the A's 2-1. JT Ginn carried no hitter in the ninth, but lost it immediately. Zach Noah's walk-off two homer in the ninth is the third walk-off homer in a game which players' team had been no hit through at least 8 innings since 1961. Joining August 23rd, 2017, Josh Harrison for the Pirates against the Dodgers. Rich Hill, which I remember that game. That's how I knew of it. In the 10th inning, and July 29th, 1963, Washington Center / Minnesota Twins against Chicago White Sox 9th. Angels have now gone 4,227 consecutive games, including postseason, without being no-hit. That's the longest active streak in MLB and the 15th longest all time. And then White Sox beat the Mariners 6-1. Or Mariners beat the White Sox 6-1, I think I meant. Yeah. Sorry. Julio Rodriguez home run on the first is his 120th career homer, and with 121 career stolen bases, 639 games. He has the 5th fewest games to 120 plus homers and 120 plus stolen bases in MLB history, behind Ronald Acuna Jr.'s 538, Eric Davis 559, Alfonso Soriano was 608, and Darryl Strawberry 618, and ahead of Fernando Tatis Jr. 656. Cole Emerson 3-run homer in the 8th is his first major league homer at 22 years and 302 days old. He's the youngest Mariners player to homer since Jose Lopez on September 13, 2004, 20 years and 294 days old. That's, of course, before he was even born on July 20th, 2005. That is it for the Note part of this week's episode: standing update, not including today's games. Not sure if any games are live or have gone final. Anyways, in the AL East, Rays in first place at 31-15, followed by the 29-19 Yankees, followed by the 21-26 Blue Jays, followed by the 21-27 Orioles, followed by the 20-27 Red Sox. In the AL Central, the Guardians first place at 27-22, followed by the 24-23 White Sox, followed by the 22-26 Twins, followed by the 20-28 Tigers, followed by the 20 and Royals. In the AL West, the A's in first place at 23-24, followed by the 23-26 Mariners, followed by the 22-25 Rangers, followed by the 19-30 Astros, followed by the 17-31 Angels. In the NL East, the Braves in first place at 32-16, followed by the 25-23 Phillies, followed by the 23-25 Nationals, followed by the 22-26 Marlins, followed by the 21-26 Mets. In the Central, the Cubs in first place at 29-19, followed by the 27-18 Brewers, followed by the 27-19 Cardinals, followed by the 24-23 Pirates, followed by the 24-24 Reds. And in the NL West, the Padres in first place at 29-18, followed by the 29-19 Dodgers, followed by the 23-23 Diamondbacks, followed by the 20-28 Giants, followed by the 19-29 Rockies. And then as for today's games, so yeah, nothing's gone final yet, but there have games that have started or about to be starting. But as for the games that are still going on, Braves and Marlins tied for top 8. Guardians and Tigers are about to start. Parker Messick against Kader Montero. Orioles is about to start. Kyle Bradish against Griffin Jacks. Reds, Phillies about to start. Chase Burns against Jesus Luzardo. Mets, Nationals is in a rain delay. Was supposed to start 6:45, but probably won't start 6:45. Nolan McLean against Foster Griffin. And as for the games that haven't started yet, but will be starting soon. Blue Jays and Yankees, 7:05, Dylan Cease against Will Warren. Red Sox and Royals, 7:40, Rangers Suarez against Bailey Falter. Astros and Twins at 7:40, Jason Alexander against Zebby Matthews. Brewers and Cubs at 7:40, Jacob Mizorowski against Ben Brown. Pirates at Cardinals at 7:45, Mitch Keller against Matthew Liberatore. Rangers and Rockies at 8:40, Tyler Alexander, I believe that is. Yep, and Sammy Peralta. A's at Angels 9:38. Jorge Lopez against Reed Detmers. Dodgers and Padres 9:40. Emmett Sheehan against Griffin Canning. Griffin Canning. Giants at Diamondbacks at 9:40. Landon Raup against Ryan Nelson. And White Sox and Mariners 9:40. Anthony Kay against Bryce Miller. That's it for this week's episode of the podcast. Thank you for watching. Anything if you're new to YouTube, like, subscribe, and review. Make sure someone my microphone live and post a video. If you're new on audio, follow the podcast, leave a review, and notification bells to know when I post on there. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week's episode 214. Bye bye.